I think what drew me to music was the telling of stories. I got into opera. It was my first real training in that. Those are all stories. You have to tell somebody's story as you pretend to be them. And just, doing my research into that and kind of going, oh, wow, it's really interesting. The histories of the different time periods these people are coming out of, and then getting into sort of Celtic music and learning about the history and how it shapes music, and then getting into, it's just kind of every aspect of music that I've gotten into has drawn me, I think, because of that, that element, the storytelling element. So it is a natural kind of extension that I began songwriting as sort of a folk musician, not as a singer-songwriter, if you know what I mean. There's a difference, I'm not like, I want to write about my latest heartbreak, or, there's nothing wrong with that, but like that, I never, ever even thought about writing songs like that. It was always more of an extension of the folk writer, which all of the songs that we sing were written by somebody along the line, and that's kind of always been the tradition that I feel like I've kind of firmly in, and that's all about the story. Where am I looking? Okay. I can't even remember where I first met Sheila K. Adams. I really loved her family's versions of those ballads. I mean, I've heard lots of different ballads, but I just kind of cottoned on to hers. And so any version I do of that stuff is usually hers. To me, Pretty Sorrow is a really important one of all of her songs because of how, well, they're all current, but that one in particular just reminds us that there have been so many different waves of immigrants here. They all kind of have the same fears and sorrows and reasonings for leaving where they left. I mean, nobody leaves their homeland with a song on their lips, It's always thinking about what they're leaving behind, but, they're going for a very important reason most of the time. So I think that song in particular is a very important one to sing now. When I first come to this country in 1849, I saw many fair lovers, but I never saw mine. I viewed all around me, saw that I was quite alone, and me a poor stranger and a long ways from home. Well, it's not this long journey I'm dreading for to go, nor the country that I'm leaving, nor the debts that I owe. There's only one thing that troubles my mind, and that's leaving my darling Pretty Sorrow behind. Fare thee well to old mother, fare thee well to father too. I'm a-going for to ramble this wide world all through, and when I get weary, I'll sit down and cry, and I'll think of my darling Pretty Sorrow, my bride. Well, I wish I was a turtle dove, had wings and could fly. Right now to my lover's lodgings, tonight I draw nigh, and there in her lily white arms I'll lie there all night and watch the little windows for the coming of the day. Being in Wilmington's always really feels like a really strong pull here, you know, because of what happened in 1898 and the importance that that story plays compared to what is known about it. It's like how important it is in inverse proportion to how much people know about it, which is kind of not a good thing. And so the idea of making some sort of piece out of that, of an artistic piece, is definitely something I've been kind of obsessed with over the last couple of years. I've been working with John Jeremiah Sullivan, who is an incredible researcher and has found a lot of really amazing things about 1898, and he's still working. So it's kind of like, until we have the full picture, you know, I'm kind of hanging, waiting, because really, you know, the stuff that he's finding is kind of game-changing stuff. So it's like, to find the narrative, you have to know the whole picture. It's so hard because there was such promise, you know, things were working, even though Reconstruction was deconstructed and destroyed, you know, actively. This was kind of one little moment, like, place where it actually was working, you know? Whites and blacks were working together. No, they weren't all best buddies. There were, you know, there was still tons of racism, there's still all this stuff, but overall it seemed like there was a path forward. It was the most chance kind of we had, you know, for that to happen, and at least in this state, and for that to be not just, you know, sort of knocked down, but completely destroyed, stamped out, and then forgotten about. That's just tragic. You know, the people who died was tragic. The fact that we don't even know all who died is tragic. The fact that the people who did are buried in a graveyard that doesn't get any kind of financial support is tragic. All of these things are tragic. That it wasn't talked about in this city, that I didn't even know about. I'm 3.5 hours to the west and knew nothing about it growing up in Greensboro. That's tragic. So, I mean, the fact that it's still a very dividing issue here is like, we can't all just agree that sucked. We can't all just agree that we need to talk about it. Like, I can't even believe that there's any question. I've got a baby, shall I keep him? 'Twill come the day when I'll be weeping. But how can I love him any less? This little babe upon my breast. You can take my body, you can take my bones, you can take my blood, but not my soul. You can take my body, you can take my bones, The fact that there are people who are trying to put it out there, and that there are people like John Jeremiah Sullivan who are doing so much amazing work to, and not just him, but all the people who have already done so much research that he can build on that now, and kind of, everybody has their parts to play. And that's an important thing, is like, there's just no room for ego in this. Everybody has to pull together and go, okay, here's my piece. So my piece is, I've been trying to just put a spotlight on it. And the idea of developing a larger artistic work is definitely, in the plan. It's just kind of like, you want to make sure that the needs of the community are being met, and the needs of, all those souls killed and displaced, and, the soul of Wilmington, really. That is what is it, we are in service to that. When your path is full of worry, He will see you through. When you feel alone on your journey, He will see you through. When you think the world's gone crazy, He will see you through. When it looks like the end of days, He'll surely see you through. All your silver, won't shine brighter than your soul. Amen. Amen. All your silver, all your gold won't shine bright